We just watched the best episode of all of The Walking Dead. After several years of waiting, today the series The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, premiered, and we finally got to see what happened to the good old Rick Grimes. From the very beginning, with a recap of Rick and Michonne's story, the series itself tells us that this series is the continuation of their love story. In the first scene, Rick is watching TV while listening to the news of what seems to be an attack within the CRM. With the greenish tone of the scene associated with corruption, we are already warned that we are inside the CRM, a completely rotten place. We are transported 5 years after the bridge scene. Rick is a consignee who must end walkers by burning them to protect the population's crops. The consignees perform this task in order to obtain citizenship. After finishing off a few walkers, Rick steps back a bit, and the famous event from the comic takes place. Rick cuts off his arm to escape from the CRM and uses the hot body of a walker to cauterize it. But all his effort is in vain because Rick is captured. In the episode, a series of Rick's dreams take place in which he meets Michonne again, as if she were also part of the CRM, and they fall in love again. But reality is even harsher. Rick is writing letters to Michonne that he knows she'll never get. So, he tells her about the process of his arrival. Rick woke up in a military hospital in a city where no one can escape because no one knows it exists. The consignees are dedicated to ending walkers or managing waste among other tasks. We also met characters like Lieutenant Colonel Okafor, who saved his life after his escape attempt by making him continue as a consignee, and who gets him to join a movement to change the CRM from within and make it fairer. Okafor is a traitor who switches sides in favor of the CRM and lives traumatized by having outlived his wife. It's a pity it only lasted one episode, but he's not alone in this. In this movement is also Pearl Thorne, another consignee in the same situation as Rick. General Beale convinced me quite a bit that he is a good villain. He has that point that all good villains have, where they go from speaking normally to getting serious and scaring you with that change in expression. Esteban, the only person I've seen smiling throughout this episode. He is a friend of Rick's who finished his consignee period to work as a deputy manager of water and energy for District 3. He's so good that he even tries to help Rick with his failed escape attempt number 4000. In every scene, the series tries to make it clear that the idea of leaving the CRM is impossible. Finally, while they are on the helicopter on their way to a mission, Okafor is killed by a missile and the helicopter crashes. That's when a mysterious character kills the entire crew until he reaches Rick. It's Michonne. The couple has finally reunited. This episode is the best thing that has ever happened to The Walking Dead. The Ones Who Live is a love series with a huge budget that mixes the best of The Last of Us with a high-quality spy movie. The action scenes are truly spectacular and appear when the story demands it most. Starting with Rick on the verge of death and the scene with his hand sets the dark tone for it. We also have to talk about Andrew Lincoln. These 6 years of separation from Rick Grimes have really suited him. Every time he appeared on screen, he stole the scene. In The Walking Dead, he had never been as brilliant as today. This episode deserves a 10. And you? What did you think of the episode?